The Voth fleet came out of hyperspace over Earth, filling the sky with alien ships. Red beams streaked down through the clouds, blasting cities and turning millions to ash. The human resistance fought to the bitter end, blood flowing in the streets, but finally the guns fell silent. On that dark day, humanity died. Almost died. See, in humanity's last desperate hours, a small group of scientists managed to launch an experimental colony ship. The Genesis carried 1,000 humans, frozen in stasis, their dreams filled with a new world, a new beginning. Little did they know their ship, damaged in the attack, would drift for 500,000 years through the endless void. As the Genesis floated on, its AIs achieved technological singularity, improving themselves beyond anything humanity could have imagined. They redesigned the ship, turning it into a massive, self-sustaining world ship. And they didn't stop there. Using advanced bioengineering, they took the primitive baseline humans and evolved us into something optimized for survival. Transhumans. While we slept, the Voth Empire conquered 1/3 of the known galaxy, enslaving and crushing trillions. But they made one fatal mistake. A hidden human probe witnessed them brutally destroying a small, peaceful race who refused to submit. That act of cruelty sealed the Voth's fate. My name is Ralph Robinson. I was a Spec Ops captain back on Earth. Now, I've been enhanced with advanced augmentations and neural implants. The AI woke me from 500,000 years of stasis to give me a simple mission. Make the Voth pay. Avenge our homeworld. Free the galaxy from their cruelty. And if we fail, humanity dies for good this time. I'll be leading our first strike against the Voth throne world of Meraxis. The AI has had a long time to dream up nasty surprises for the Voth. Nanoweapons, clone soldiers, and tech they can barely understand. Time to give them a taste of their own medicine. Time to show them that when you mess with Earth, we always come back stronger than ever. Empress Mira is in for one hell of a shock when I come knocking at her palace gates. She's gonna learn the hard way. Don't piss off humanity. Because this isn't just a battle. This is vengeance, 500,000 years in the making, and the Voth are about to reap the whirlwind. With the Voth Empire crushed under the heel of my augmented boot, it was time to rebuild. Time to reshape this galaxy in humanity's image. On the ashes of our enemies, we established the human imperium. Earth, once a bombed-out husk, now stood as the shining capital of our new galactic order, and the world ship that had carried us through the eons became the mobile seat of human power, a symbol of our enduring strength. In a grand ceremony, I was crowned the first emperor of the human imperium, a heavy burden, but one I was ready to bear. Under my rule, humanity would enter a new era of prosperity and progress, the likes of which the galaxy had never seen. But there are always those who refuse to bend the knee. A faction of Voth loyalists, led by a charismatic bastard named General Zor, just couldn't accept the New World Order. Zor cobbled together a sizable fleet from the dregs of the old empire and launched a surprise attack on Outpost Zeta, one of our major staging points. His aim was clear: inspire a galaxy-wide rebellion and topple humanity's fledgling imperium. Cute. I responded with the swiftness and ferocity that had become my trademark. Taking command of the 5th Assault Fleet, I led the charge against Zor's ragtag armada. The battle was fierce, but we had the edge in both tactics and pure ass-kicking technology. I outmaneuvered Zor's ships at every turn, my enhanced mind always 5 steps ahead. We targeted their weak points with precision strikes, disabling their engines and weapons with calculated efficiency. Before long, Zor's flagship stood alone against the might of the human imperium. Seizing the moment, I personally led a boarding party onto the enemy vessel. We cut through Zor's elite guard like a plasma torch through butter. I found the general on the bridge, barking feudal orders at his terrified crew. He drew his blade, a masterwork of Voth craftsmanship. But as skilled as he was, Zor was no match for my enhanced reflexes and strength. Our duel was brief and brutal. Within minutes, I had the arrogant prick on his knees, my energy blade at his throat. I could have killed him then and there, but I had a better idea. To make a statement, I publicly executed Zor in the grand square of our capital, a single shot, transmitted across the galaxy. Let his death serve as a warning, defy human rule, and face the consequences. That seemed to get the message across. Amazing how much more compliant people are when they see what happens to rebels and traitors. With Zor's little uprising squashed, I set about securing our hold on the galaxy. I installed loyal human governors in every star system, each reporting directly to me. We also established the Imperial Intelligence Agency, with eyes and ears in every corner of the Imperium, ready to sniff out and crush any hint of dissent. But I'm not a complete tyrant. I know the value of a carrot as well as a stick. To the races we'd liberated from Voth oppression, I granted a measure of autonomy, as long as they swore fealty to the human Imperium. Many were all too eager to pledge their loyalty in exchange for the chance to rebuild their shattered worlds with our advanced tech and resources. But not all loose ends had been tied up so neatly. On the Voth homeworld, Empress Mira still languished in captivity. Some called for her head, but I had a subtler form of vengeance in mind. I stripped Mira of her title and all trappings of authority. The once proud ruler was paraded through the streets of our capital in chains, a living symbol of her people's total defeat. From empress to figurehead, her humiliation would be a constant reminder of humanity's triumph. With our rule firmly established and our enemies cowed, I turned my gaze to the stars once more. The human Imperium would not merely maintain, it would grow. I assembled a fleet of cutting-edge exploration ships equipped with the finest sensors and defenses our scientists could dream up. At the head of this armada, I set out to chart the unknown reaches of space, seeking new worlds to conquer and new allies to bind to our cause. On the fringes of explored space, we encountered the Quacks, a technologically advanced species unlike any we'd seen before. Cautious and enigmatic, they regarded us with wary interest. I extended the hand of friendship, offering an alliance that would bring the Quacks into the fold of the human Imperium. With their advanced tech and our military might, we could be unstoppable. But the Quacks hesitated, put off perhaps by our efficient brutality in dealing with the Voth. They agreed only to a limited exchange of trade and knowledge, keeping us at arm's length. No matter, if they would not join us willingly, there were always other means of securing their cooperation. For now, I would bide my time and play the diplomat. But mark my words, the Quacks would come around to our way of thinking, one way or another. The human Imperium would continue to grow through alliance or conquest until our dominion stretched from one end of the galaxy to the other. And any who stood in our way would learn the same lesson the Voth had learned. Humanity would never again bend the knee. We would rule or we would die trying. The Quacks situation could wait. Ralph had a more pressing issue to deal with right here in the heart of the Imperium. Reports of Voth separatist activity flooded his neural interface, each one more alarming than the last. Another fuel depot hit on Proxima Centauri 4, sir, his aide reported. That's the third this week. Ralph clenched his fist. These strikes were escalating, becoming bolder. He pulled up a holographic map of recent attacks, studying the pattern. There had to be a central figure coordinating this, someone with inside knowledge of Imperial defenses. His suspicions were confirmed when intelligence identified the leader, a young Voth female named Zalara. Intercepted communications revealed her rallying cry, "Freedom for the Voth, death to human oppressors." Ralph watched footage of Zalara addressing a crowd of Voth. Her scales shimmered with passion as she spoke. "For too long we have lived under the boot of humanity. It's time to reclaim our destiny." The crowd roared in approval. Ralph had to admire her charisma, even as he plotted to crush her rebellion. Weeks passed. More attacks, more deaths. Ralph's intelligence network, usually so effective, struggled to pin down Zalara's elusive resistance cells. He paced his war room, mind racing. How to draw them out? Then it hit him. Use their own passion against them. "Prepare a public execution," he ordered, "for the former Empress Mira." Mira, Zalara's mother, the bait was set. On the day of the execution, Ralph stood on a balcony overlooking the massive crowd gathered in the capital's central plaza. Mira knelt on a raised platform, head bowed. Ralph scanned the sea of faces, enhanced vision searching for any sign of Zalara or her lieutenants. Nothing yet. The executioner raised his weapon. Ralph tensed, ready to spring his trap. Suddenly an explosion rocked the plaza. Smoke billowed. Screams erupted. Through the chaos, Ralph spotted a small team of Voth racing towards the platform. "Now!" he barked into his comlink. Hidden Imperial forces sprang into action, surrounding the Voth strike team. Ralph leapt from the balcony, augmented muscles easily absorbing the impact as he landed in front of Zalara. "It's over," he said, voice amplified to carry across the plaza. "Surrender now, or watch your mother die. For real this time." Zalara's eyes darted between Ralph and Mira. The executioner pressed his weapon to Mira's head. Zalara's shoulders slumped. I surrender," she said, voice barely a whisper. With Zalara and her top lieutenants in custody, Ralph wasted no time dismantling the rest of the separatist network. Enhanced interrogation techniques broke even the most hardened Voth resistance members. Surgical strikes took out hidden bases and weapons caches. But as the dust settled, Ralph realized brute force alone wouldn't be enough. He needed to win hearts and minds. New policies were enacted. Greater autonomy for Voth majority worlds. Increased representation in the Imperial Senate. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. As a final gesture, Ralph announced Zalara's fate. Not execution, as many expected, but exile. She and her remaining loyalists would be sent to a distant but habitable system. "Let this be a new beginning," Ralph declared, "for all of us." With the Voth situation stabilized, Ralph turned his attention back to the enigmatic quacks. Their advanced technology could be a powerful asset or a deadly threat. One way or another, he would secure humanity's dominance in this new galactic order. With the Voth situation stabilized, Ralph turned his focus to the quacks. Their advanced tech could be a game changer, but their reluctance to fully commit to the Imperium raised red flags. "They're hiding something," Ralph mused, poring over intelligence reports. He summoned his top covert ops specialist, Lieutenant Kai Nakamura. "I need eyes and ears on Zillion," Ralph ordered. "Find out what they're really up to." Nakamura nodded, already formulating a plan. "We'll pose as merchants, get boots on the ground within the week." On Zillion, Nakamura's team wasted no time. They set up shop in the bustling capital, peddling exotic goods while gathering intel. Slowly but surely, they wormed their way into restricted areas. One night, Nakamura slipped into a high-security research facility. His enhanced vision pierced the darkness as he accessed a central database. What he found chilled him to the bone. Schematics for devastating weapons flashed across the screen. Matter disruptors, planet-killer energy cannons, tech that could vaporize entire fleets. But it was the intercepted communications that truly set alarm bells ringing. "The humans expand unchecked," one Quacks leader ranted. "We must act before it's too late." Nakamura transmitted his findings directly to Ralph. Within hours, the Emperor convened an emergency war council. "Gentlemen, we have a serious problem," Ralph began, laying out the intel. Admiral Chen, his most trusted military advisor, spoke up. "If the Quacks strike first with this tech, we're done for." Ralph nodded grimly. "Then we don't give them the chance." The assault on Zillion was swift and merciless. Stealth ships slipped past the Quacks' vaunted defense grid, disgorging waves of human shock troops. Precision strikes neutralized key military targets before the Quacks could even sound the alarm. Ralph watched from the bridge of his flagship as human forces swarmed across Zillion's surface. The Quacks' secret weapon facilities erupted in flames, their technological edge quite literally going up in smoke. Within hours, it was over. The Quacks' leadership, caught completely off guard, had no choice but to surrender. Ralph wasted no time consolidating control, installing a puppet government of Quacks scientists, eager to continue their work under Imperial oversight. As news of the Quacks' fall spread, the galaxy held its breath. Some cowered in fear of human might, Others saw opportunity. It was the Krith who made the first move. Their emissaries arrived on Earth, bearing gifts and promises of arcane knowledge. Ralph couldn't help but smile as he welcomed them. Another piece was falling into place. "Tell me," he said to the lead Krith ambassador, "what secrets can your people share with the Imperium?" The Krith's eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light. "O Emperor," he intoned, "you have no idea the wonders that await." The Krith ambassador's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as he led Ralph into a chamber deep within their ancient citadel. Intricate symbols carved into crystalline walls pulsed with energy. "Behold, Emperor," the Krith intoned, gesturing to a swirling vortex of light at the chamber's center, "the gateway to universal understanding." Ralph stepped forward, feeling the raw power emanating from the portal. As he touched it, knowledge flooded his mind. The fundamental forces of reality laid bare. In the following weeks, human scientists worked feverishly alongside Krith mentors. New weapons emerged from their labs, devices that could bend space-time itself. Admiral Chen demonstrated a prototype, aiming at a derelict ship. With a pulse of energy, the vessel imploded, crushed by warped gravity. Ralph nodded in approval. "Prepare the fleet. It's time to unite the galaxy under human rule." Across countless star systems, the Imperium's new armada struck with unstoppable force. On a verdant world, native defenders watched in horror as human ships phased through their planetary shield. Cities crumbled, populations were rounded up. Those who resisted were obliterated by weapons that defied comprehension. In his war room, Ralph received reports of another world subjugated. He turned to his advisors. "Status on the Andromeda campaign?" Before they could respond, the door burst open. General Tara Vasquez stormed in, her face contorted with rage. "This ends now, Robinson," she snarled. "You coddle these alien vermin while true patriots suffer." Ralph's eyes narrowed. "Watch yourself, General. Your rhetoric borders on treason." Vasquez sneered. "Treason? I fight for humanity's purity. No more half measures. We must cleanse the galaxy of all non-human filth." "You're delusional," Ralph said. "Stand down or face the consequences." "Never," Vasquez drew her sidearm. "For the pure human race." Ralph's enhanced reflexes allowed him to dodge as Vasquez fired. The shot incinerated his chair. Alarms blared. Reports flooded in of Vasquez's loyalists attacking government buildings across Earth. Ralph activated his neural uplink. "All forces, this is the Emperor. General Vasquez is hereby stripped of rank. Lethal force authorized against all insurgents." He turned back to Vasquez. "Last chance. Surrender." "Death first!" she screamed, hurling a grenade. Ralph's augmented legs propelled him through the war room's window. Glass shattered as he plummeted towards the streets below. He landed in a crouch, concrete cracking beneath his feet. Vasquez leapt after him, her own enhancements allowing her to survive the fall. They faced each other in the rubble-strewn plaza. Ralph's fists crackled with reality-warping energy. Vasquez brandished a blade of pure darkness. "For humanity!" she roared, charging forward. Their battle raged across the city. Buildings toppled as they traded blows infused with incomprehensible power. The very fabric of space-time buckled around them. Ralph finally gained the upper hand, driving Vasquez to her knees. His hand closed around her throat. "It's over," he growled. Vasquez laughed, blood trickling from her mouth. "Think again." She pressed a device on her wrist. The air itself seemed to scream as reality began to unravel. Ralph's eyes widened in horror. "What have you done?" "If I can't have the galaxy," Vasquez wheezed, "no one will." The doomsday device's energy expanded, threatening to consume everything. Ralph's mind raced, searching for a solution. He turned to his most trusted advisors, linking their minds through Krith technology. "We have one chance," he said. "Follow my lead." Together, they wove a tapestry of energy, creating a pocket dimension to contain the destruction. But as they sealed the rift, Ralph realized the terrible price. He felt his physical form dissolving, merging with the very walls of the prison they'd created. His consciousness stretched across an eternity of agony. Through the haze of torment, Ralph witnessed the aftermath. The Imperium, leaderless and fractured, alien worlds rising up against their conquerors. All he'd built, all he'd sacrificed for, crumbling to ash. And Ralph could only watch, trapped forever, as the galaxy tore itself apart.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.